Hello and welcome to the Georgina Chamber of Commerce 2022 election debate here on Rogers TV. My name is Karen Wolf and I will be your moderator. This debate is being held in partnership with Georgina Chamber of Commerce and Rogers TV, Georgina. During the debate, you will hear from two candidates who are looking for your vote to be the next councillor for Ward 5. I'll introduce the candidates in a moment, but first I want to go over some of the housekeeping rules that we have for this debate. The order in which the candidates will be introduced and deliver their opening statement was determined by a random draw prior to the program. This order will be reversed at the end of the program for closing statements. Each candidate will be given 1 minute for an opening statement, 1 minute for a closing statement, and 1 minute to answer questions. There's a timekeeper here in the studio that will cue the candidates at a 30-second interval and a 10-second interval. If the candidate hears something that they would like to challenge, they will raise their hand, be recognized by the moderator prior to the next question. They'll have time to challenge the statement, and rebuttal opportunities may be available if time permits. We're looking forward to a respectful and informative discussion, and I encourage everyone to make the most of the time we have together. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the candidates running in Ward 5. To the left is Lee Dale, and beside Lee is Kelly McCarthy. So let's begin with opening remarks. You'll each have 1 minute, and based on the results of the draw prior to the show, we will be asking Lee Dale to start with an opening remark.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you to Rogers TV, Chamber of Commerce, and Pefferlaw icon Karen Wolf for hosting this debate. I'm really excited to be here today to speak with you about our community and especially about the needs of Ward 5. As a business owner, a community advocate, a volunteer, and somebody who has spent over 15 years working in the community to further the betterment of all of our lives, I'm excited to be here today to speak on this. Whether being a part of the Friends of the Dam group, working with residents on beach issues, working to stop the aerodrome, or any of the multitude of things that I've worked on with you, the residents of the community, everyone knows Dale gets it done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Kelly McCarthy next, please.
Thank you for having me here today. My name is Kelly Quinn McCarthy. I am one of the Quinns in Pefferlaw. We have the business there that has provided economic development, jobs for the community. My chosen career was in municipal work, where I worked for the town of Bradford, West Gwillimbury for 11 years as a tax clerk, accounts receivable, and within procurement. Those skills that I gained during that time period will be transferable to my role as councillor. Municipal experience, knowledge, and education. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So on to the Q&A portion of this program. And our first question, I'm going to ask Kelly McCarthy to take it first. So could you name 3 issues you want to address in your term of office if you are the next Ward 5 councillor?
I would address the Holmes Park washroom, which has been ongoing. I'd like to see that put behind us in that I know there's issues around the environment with the Lake Simcoe conservation, with the lake on one side and wetlands on the other side, and it seems to be laying low. So I'd like to see that put behind. We need that. It's been ongoing. I would also like to see the work on the fiscal responsibility. Just making sure that we do what we're supposed to do and keeping the best interest of the community alive. And I'd like to also do road improvements. Some of the roads are in pretty rough shape, so I'd like to improve the, resurfacing.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Dale.
Thank you for the question, Karen. I think for me, the question is sort of an A and B question. A, being the town of Georgina as a whole, I want to see fiscal improvement, financial responsibility, better use of our tax dollars. I want to see economic development, and I want to see us spend more on our roads. On the B side of that, that's Ward 5. That's where my focus is for this meeting here today. I want to see the Holmes Point washroom sorted out. We had money allotted in 2019, a bylaw passed, that money was issued, and unfortunately the washrooms didn't get what they were supposed to. So I'm looking to follow through with that. I'm also looking to follow through and continue the work with the Friends of the Dam on the council table and get the money for the dam spent on the dam, the engineer's report. That's very important to me, and I want to work with community members on road safety and things like the aerodrome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next question, we'll ask Mr. Dale to go first. Residents are getting tired of watching their taxes increase every year. What is the answer?
Well, thanks for the question, Karen. The answer is financial responsibility. The answer is electing people to office that know where your tax dollars go and know why they go and are willing to have that conversation with you. We spend a lot of money in Georgina on consultants for a myriad of issues. We're spending a ton of money as we speak on a waterfront master plan. When we have a full complement of staff and engineers within the town and 55,000 plus residents to have this conversation with. It starts with responsibility at home. It starts with using the money for what it was allotted to, and it starts with understanding that operations and maintenance costs are what kills a community. We have to spend responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. McCarthy.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Of course. Residents are tired of watching their taxes increase every year. What is the answer?
That's a tough one. Based on our economy today, I'm still in public purchasing, and the CPI is just off the scales. I think it's a 30-year record high. That's going to be a tough one to rein in, considering that we have to still keep the level of service to the community. We can't cut back on certain things like road salt and sand. I mean, that's something that has to keep going. We could look at deferring some of the expenses during this time period to another when the economy gets back in balance, and then maybe perhaps spend the money at a better time than, say, this coming year. So it's a matter of deferring that, and that's about it.
Okay.
Are we able to?
You need to raise your hand. Thank you.
Hi. So for me, the issue with deferral is that deferral has become the middle name for the community of Georgina and the town. We've been deferring the waterfront. We've been deferring operations. We've been deferring a lot of things. We've been deferring road work to the point where our CPI is less than 7%. When we keep deferring and not finding financially responsible ways to do things, we are continually getting into a backlog, and we're continually raising our taxes. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Ms. McCarthy, rebuttal?
Well, it's just the time today. He may be right with the deferral, but right now with the economy that we have, it's not the right time. We have to wait till it comes down to a good rate of CPI and carry on from there. But right now, it's irresponsible to go out and carry on with stuff that can be deferred until we have a better sense of the economy.
Okay, thank you very much. Our next question, Ms. McCarthy, I'll ask you to take this one first. Describe an economic development strategy that you think would successfully attract employers offering good-paying jobs.
We could offer grants, trying to get businesses here, finding the grants are going to get people here. It's the location. We need to we probably need to have an economic strategy that would be done by professionals, because sometimes our employees do not have that professionalism in their portfolio. We need an expert in advertising. We need to deliver it right the first time. We can't be fumbling with people that don't have the expertise. We will have to pay a professional to get the strategies in place for the town and for the employees to work through.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Dale.
Thanks for the question, Karen. Economic development and attracting business to Georgina has been something that the community has struggled with for several decades. Part of the strategy that I think we're missing as a community is actually using council and mayor as advocates and envoys. We should be at trade shows. We should be speaking. Our economic development should not be spreading this in the community. They should be spreading it in Niagara Falls and Oshawa and Montreal. We need to get out there like other communities around us. EG is welcoming Loblaws. Bradford, West Gwillimbury is welcoming Caterpillar. We need to do a better job of that. We also need to take an inventory of town-owned property, look at it through divestiture, offer this opportunity to other businesses that are coming to the community. We need to market ourselves a lot better. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McCarthy, you'd like to make a comment?
Yeah, having grown with the town of Bradford, West Gwillimbury, we're just premature. Our time is coming and we need to get ready for it. Bradford has their industrial area that's being developed back 10 years ago, and now they're getting people that are interested. Along with that was a RFP that went out through the economic development that advertises and gets investments. They need to have the right, because we've invested in the area, we have to actually have the best marketing plan as well.
Okay, thank you very much. My next question, Mr. Dale, I'll ask you to take this first. Given that Georgina is a destination for visitors of our Lake Simcoe shorelines, what would you propose to ensure that both visitor and resident goals are achieved?
Thank you for the question, Karen. This is going to come a lot down to the waterfront. I think, we're working on a waterfront master plan, which will be important in the sense of being able to apply for provincial and federal grants. But all of the work proposed through that is going to be 10 to 15 years off, and we have no savings, nothing to provide to do any of the work that we're spending on consultants to do. We need a real focus through our economic development on our waterfront, on attracting hotels, on attracting businesses that cater to this community. We also need to innovate and look at the ways that we're accepting building along the lake to set us up for a positive future with tourists. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McCarthy.
It's a fine balance. We still have to keep the residents of the community up front and foremost, and I'm a firm believer in having residential parking only. There's a loud voice out there about not respecting our area. I'd like to see some bylaws put in place that our beautiful community is saved from that bash every summer. And at the same time, I'd like to see some way to have our businesses attractive to these visitors. So it's finding that balance.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question, Ms. McCarthy, I'm going to ask you to take this one first. One of the most challenging problems at all levels of government right now is the cost of housing. What are your plans to address housing affordability in Georgina?
Housing affordability, we're actually one of the more affordable areas in the York region. To address it, I guess it's just permits, I guess getting the permits out there to have more people coming to our community, lightening up, trying to process those so that the environment's there. To be affordable, it's hard to do because we're close to the GTA, and as you know, the closer you get to GTA, and we're becoming that, affordability is an issue just because of the location itself.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Dale.
Thanks, Karen. When it comes to affordable housing, as a council, as a community, we have a role to play, but the role is also there for the provincial and federal government. We need mandates from all levels of government to make sure housing is affordable. We work within a growth master plan that's provided through the province of Ontario. We need to do our part within the community to foster relationships with builders, foster relationships with developers, and when it comes to the older parts of the community, specifically Ward 5, where we don't see much development, we need to understand that we need to innovate in what we do there as well. We can respect our way of life, but we can work on things like allowing and building tiny homes, secondary residence on our rural properties, senior centers, and really working on the infrastructure around what's needed to be able to make life more affordable in Georgina. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question I'm going to ask Mr. Dale to take first. The town of Georgina is creating a waterfront strategic plan. What is your vision for our waterfront, and how should the recommendations in the strategy address the washroom situation at Holmes Point Park?
Well, thank you, Karen. This is something that I'm very passionate about. I've participated in the waterfront plan from start to finish to where it is currently. I have given a deputation. I've spoken with council multiple times. I've written to the town about the Holmes Point washrooms. I advocated for money to be spent there in the past. I continue to do so now. Money was allotted for the Holmes Point washrooms in 2019, and unfortunately, there was no follow through there. As your next Ward 5 councillor, that is something that I will immediately follow up. After the inaugural meeting, I will be in the office looking for those washrooms. As the waterfront as a whole, we're going to go through the strategy. The money has been spent on the consultants. My concern is, again, we don't have savings for this. We don't have the grant money for this. We need to really focus on the big beaches and stop advertising the little beaches that don't have the infrastructure to support the parking or the influx of residents in the summer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. McCarthy.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Of course. The town of Georgina is creating a waterfront strategic plan. What is your vision for the waterfront, and how should the recommendations in the strategy address the washroom situation at Holmes Point Park?
Okay, I'm very excited about the waterfront master plan. We need to, because we're so close to the city, we're finding that it's overwhelming. We need to address the people coming to our beaches. We need to make sure that the washroom is put in place because it's past due. It needs to be addressed. That cannot be deferred. It's ongoing. The strategies with the master plan, again, parking is going to be an issue. We have to make sure that that is taken care of. We have to make sure that it's friendly for everybody, it's accessible. I'm very excited that the consultants put together a plan. It's just a matter of going through the fine-tuning.
Okay, thank you very much. And Ms. McCarthy, I'm going to ask you to take the next question. Should Ward 5 allow licensed and insured drivers of ATVs to use public roads to access Lake Simcoe during ice fishing season? Why or why not?
This is a selfish comment. I think they should, because I do ice fish, and I think it's part of our lifestyle up here. I think we should have some rules and regulations in place, timelines. They are allowed for the residents. I think that that should be, off the ice at a reasonable time, enforcement to it. But yes, it's a slippery slope, this question. But I think with rules and regulations, it's something we can embrace with our lifestyle here in Ward 5.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dia?
Thank you for the question, Karen. This is also something that I'm very passionate about, and it's something that I've had many conversations over the last few years with many residents in the community through my outreach. I believe that ATVs, licensed, insured, and on the road safely plated, belong on the roads east of Park Road, and I'm talking Ward 5. We keep looking at issues from a whole town stance. We have separate parking bylaws in Simcoe Landing because of the infrastructure there. We can have a separate bylaw in Ward 5. And I think when we understand that we are allowing safe, licensed, insured operators on the road of these ATVs, we can give an enforcement piece to YRP to be able to get the illegal, unsafe riders of ATVs and dirt bikes that are causing disturbances in the community and unsafe behavior off the road. We can give that mandate to YRP while allowing respectful, licensed, and insured operators to enjoy our beautiful community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My next question, I'm going to ask Mr. Dale to take first. What does fiscal responsibility mean to you?
Thanks for the question, Karen. Fiscal responsibility is something I'm really passionate about. Fiscal responsibility is something that I've advocated for. I've given comment on every budget over the last 8 to 10 years. I've worked with the community. I've sent in notices on projects about fiscal responsibility. Fiscal responsibility means smart spending, understanding what we're taking in, and it also means to me the economic development piece. If we want fiscal responsibility, we want to start building all of the infrastructure that we're placing all over this community. It comes with maintenance and operation costs. We need to understand without commercial, institutional, or ICI tax dollars, we're not bringing enough in the community to make it effective. So fiscal responsibility starts with smart choices. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. McCarthy.
Fiscal responsibility starts with the need of the community. It's up to the users to present to us what they have on the table every year, and it's up to us to vet it, to go through it, for them to explain why they need it, and then from there we can decide, if it's justified. The whole thing with financials with municipalities is assess the need. If it's a want, well, that's something else, but we have to assess the need. That's the way we limit the spend. We look at the budget lines one by one and assess that. So that's thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. McCarthy, I'm going to ask you to take the next question. If you received a $1 million grant to use any way you wanted, what would you use it for?
The priority would be the Holmes Point. We need to address, bring that up to snuff. We need to have that accessible. We need to have the bathroom taken care of. We need to take care of the parking. That's where I would spend it. I would spend it on building our beautiful park.
Thank you. Mr. Dale.
Thanks for the question, Karen. This one's a bit interesting for me. We have funding for the Pefferlaw Dam. Through the Friends of the Dam and the work with Council over the last term, we were able to secure funding and ownership to the town. So, I'm happy there. Holmes Point washrooms had money allotted that is no longer there, but it belongs there and it will be returned. So I'm really happy there as well. I think any dollars that we can add to our roads are sorely in needs of improvement. We're spending less and less every year where our focus has gone away. Our gas tax dollars have to go to the roads, so an extra $1 million can't hurt. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask Mr. Dale to take the next question. What qualities do you possess that makes you a good choice to represent your ward in Georgina?
Thanks for the question, Karen. I think for me, I'm a business owner and investor. I've been working in the community for over 15, 20 years, and I've contributed in many ways from volunteering to working and advocating for issues around the community. I understand the budgets. I'm fiscally responsible. I'm out there with residents every single day in the community working on issues. I'm with you. I live right there in the heart of the ward. I am somebody that's accessible, available, always willing to talk, and always willing to speak up. And that's why people know that Dale get it done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. McCarthy.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. What qualities do you possess that makes you a good choice to represent your ward in Georgina?
Okay, it comes back to my experience, knowledge, and education that is supported by the municipal works. I've done a great deal of education that's municipal focused. I've done budgets. I spend large dollars in my job in the municipality. I understand budgets. I understand the roles and responsibility of policies. I communicate with the public in my previous career. I have deal with vendors. I deal with council. I deal with staff. I'm fit. All of my experience from my work at Bradford West Gwillimbury is transferable to my position as a councillor.
Thank you very much. Now that concludes the Q&A portion of the program. So we're going to move on to closing statements, and because of the draw that we had at the beginning, we're going to go in reverse order. So, Ms. McCarthy, I'm going to ask you if you would please give us your closing statement. 1 minute.
Okay, I'm Kelly Quinn McCarthy. Again, vote for experience, knowledge, and education, which I can provide. You have a voice right now, and the voice is time. It's time for you to vote. You have a choice. Vote Kelly McCarthy. There's going to be a big change in council this year, this term. 50% of council has resigned. So there's a lag in experience. You have a vote that you can use for your ward and also for the whole of council. Experience is lagging. I can provide that. Your vote will count both within the ward and at the council table. I'm honored and privileged to represent you. I hear you. Your voice is here. Just vote Kelly McCarthy.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dale, your closing comments, please.
Thanks, Karen, and thank you again, and Rogers TV, all the volunteers in the Chamber of Commerce for providing this forum for residents to be able to hear the conversations about your next Ward 5 councillor. I'm extremely excited. I'm humbled by the support from the community. I've been working for over 10 to 15 years in the community, and the last several right here in Ward 5. Whether you're in Port Bolster, Pefferlaw, Eudora, or anywhere in between, you know that I have your back. I've been right there with you working on issues. I'm an experienced business owner. I have real life experience proven in the community with residents. I'm the only candidate in this race that lives in Ward 5, and I'm there every single day supporting you and having your back. I'm looking forward to October 24th, and a vote for Dale means Ward 5 is forgotten no more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have, and I want to thank our candidates for their participation, and I want to thank you at home for watching. I hope this debate will help you make an informed decision on Election Day, and I invite you to continue watching Rogers TV as we bring you televised debates for all of the other municipal council positions. I also encourage you to tune in to Public Speaking this month, when 3 former members of council will discuss some of the issues that are part of this election. Schedules are available at rogerstv.com. And we want to see you back here on October the 24th, when we will bring you all of the election results. So stay safe, everyone, and don't forget to get out and vote. Thank you.